Welcome to How to Basic Apex. Today we're going to talk about how to create a sequence and a trigger. Sometimes we need a sequence that's not connected to an ID. In today's case, we have a column in which we're going to apply a trigger and a column where we're going to apply a sequence. Starting off with the sequence. First, click on SQL Workshop. Click on Object Browser, click on Sequences, Create Sequence, or click on the plus drop-down menu and select Sequence. The name of the column in which we're going to connect the sequence with is called contract_number. Here you have the name of the sequence, which in this case is going to be, again, contract_number. Start with is the number the sequence starts with. So in this case, it will be 1000. Increment by is the number it will add to the existing minimum. So in this case, it will be 1000 plus 1. Numbers to cache is a setting that determines how many sequence numbers are pre-located and stored in the cache for better performance. We will leave this as the default. Minimum is the minimum value the sequence must have, and maximum is the maximum value the sequence can have. And cycle is an option which, if you have reached the max or the minimum, it will again start with your start with number. I don't recommend this option because you will have double data in your database if the max or min is reached. Click on Create Sequence. Okay, so now we've created a sequence, but a database needs to know when to activate this sequence. This is where the trigger comes in. Right-click on Trigger and select Create Trigger, or click on the plus drop-down menu and select Trigger. Here, we're going to select the table on which we want the trigger to activate. In this case, it's contract. This trigger name is going to be trig_contract_number. Firing point means when does the trigger activate? Is it before an update, insert or delete, or after an update, insert or delete? We're selecting before. So here you have the code of the trigger. You have the option of changing when you want to insert this sequence. So for example, you can change the before to after and remove the update and or delete. In this case, I want to remove the update and delete so that my trigger only activates when I insert into the table contract. Now we know when the trigger is activated and it's time to select what the trigger is going to do. We want our just created sequence to go off when a trigger is activated. So by begin, I'm first selecting my sequence. So the sequence name plus dot next file into and new dot the column that sequence is applied to, and then from dual. Now we added the sequence with the trigger, and to show you that everything works fine, I will add some data to the database. Normally this is done through the different pages in Apex, but to show you that everything works fine, we'll do it this way. Contract ID is managed by the primary key sequence. And contract_number is managed by our sequence and trigger. I will just fill out the rest. As you can see, the trigger and sequence are working fine. Now it would be useful if the create date is added automatically with the date of today when inserting. This can also be achieved with a trigger. This time we're going to do it through code. So go to SQL Workshop, SQL command, and in order to keep this video as efficient as possible, I already created the code. In this trigger, when the data is inserted into the table contract, the column date is filled in with the date of today, so the sys date. Now we're going to test the code. So again, normally this is done through the different pages in Apex. I'm just going to insert some data, but leave the create date open, so the trigger will activate and fill in today's date. And there you go. So that's it for this video. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the comments. We also have other instruction videos like this one on our channel, How to Basic Apex. So subscribe to stay updated and like this video if it was helpful.